Michael Jackson's greatest escape did not happen when he left the Jackson 5. It happened in front of 70,000 people, when one final decision turned his family's greatest celebration into a goodbye. But to understand why that moment mattered, we have to return to a small house in Gary, Indiana, where a child learned that one wrong note could have consequences. Michael is the youngest lead singer of the Jackson 5. His voice can transform the future of his entire family. But his father, Joseph, controls every rehearsal, every performance, and almost every choice Michael makes. As Michael becomes the most famous artist in the world, one conflict grows more dangerous. Can he claim his own life without destroying the family that created him? The story begins in 1966. Joseph Jackson gathers Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Michael inside a cramped room and rehearses them for hours. They repeat the same movements, the same harmonies, the same mistakes. Joseph orders them to breathe together and move together. When one brother fails, everyone begins again. Michael is still a child, but Joseph already sees something extraordinary inside him. Not simply talent, a way out. Joseph works in a steel mill. He knows poverty, racism, and the brutal limits waiting for his sons outside their home. So he gives them one rule. In life, you are either a winner or a loser. Nothing will be handed to them. They must fight harder than everyone else. Then Joseph makes the boys raise their arms toward a wall without touching it. They must reach together as one family. He takes away their individual names and gives them a single identity, the Jackson 5. It feels inspiring, but there is something unsettling beneath it. The boys are becoming stars before they are allowed to become themselves. The rehearsals turn into local performances. The local performances become real opportunities. Then, Suzanne DePass sees them in Chicago. She notices Michael immediately. His voice sounds too powerful for his age. He does not simply sing the song, he takes control of it. Motown signs the group. Suddenly, the Jackson 5 are everywhere. Their songs climb the charts. Their concerts sell out. The family leaves Gary and moves into a mansion in California. The dream has come true. But Michael's private world becomes smaller as his public world becomes larger. Motown changes his age for the audience. Reporters surround him. Strangers scream his name. Children his own age no longer treat him like a normal person. They stare. They ask for photographs. They see Michael Jackson before they see Michael. So he escapes into animals, books, and fantasy. He speaks to his pets as friends because they demand nothing from him. He becomes fascinated by Peter Pan and Neverland, a place where children never have to grow up. The world sees childish interests. The film shows something sadder. Michael is trying to protect the childhood that fame is taking from him. His mother, Catherine, understands his loneliness. She tells him he has carried a special light since birth. He must let that light shine, and he must never allow anyone to take it away, not even himself. Years pass. Michael is no longer just the talented child in the Jackson 5. He wants to create music that belongs completely to him. With Quincy Jones, he begins building off the wall. He wants freedom. A new sound, a new image, a new Michael. But even as an adult, he struggles to confront Joseph directly. The record company supports the solo album, yet Joseph places a condition on it. Michael can record his own music, but he must continue working with his brothers. His solo career can exist only if the family still benefits. Off the Wall becomes a success. Michael should feel liberated. Instead, Joseph organizes another family tour, using Michael's growing fame as the engine. Their argument finally explodes. Joseph accuses Michael of thinking he is better than his brothers. Michael insists he only wants control of his own career. Then, he leaves. Inside the car with Bill Bray, Michael admits the truth. He loves his family, but he feels trapped by them. Bill tells him freedom requires action. Michael needs his own team and his own lawyer. He hires John Branca and gives him one immediate task: remove Joseph as his manager. The message is delivered without a face-to-face confrontation. Joseph is furious, but the balance of power has changed. Michael has not stopped being his son. He has stopped being his property. Now, for the first time, Michael can decide what happens next. And he makes an almost impossible decision. His next album will not merely perform well. It will become the greatest-selling album in history. Michael studies everything: sound, movement, lighting, costumes, film. He does not want ordinary music videos. He wants events. He sees news reports about gang violence and creates Beat It, bringing real rival gang members together inside the production. The danger becomes choreography. The aggression becomes a rhythm. Then comes Billie Jean. At Motown's anniversary celebration, Michael steps onto the stage alone. The crowd already knows he can sing. They are not ready for what happens next. The hat, the glove, the sharp movements, the impossible pause, then the moonwalk. In seconds, Michael stops looking like a former child star and becomes something the world has never seen. Thriller explodes. The music crosses countries, races, and generations. The short films turn songs into cinematic experiences. Millions of people imitate his movements. For one extraordinary stretch, every risk works. Every strange idea becomes iconic. Every door opens. Michael has not simply escaped the Jackson 5, he has created a world large enough to stand inside alone. But one powerful barrier remains. MTV is not giving black artists equal airtime. Michael has made music for everyone, yet one of the most influential platforms in America is still treating him as though he belongs somewhere else. John Branca and CBS President Walter Yetnikoff push back. Yetnikoff threatens to remove CBS Music from the network unless MTV plays Michael's videos. MTV finally gives in. Billie Jean reaches the audience. Then Beat It. Then Thriller. Michael does not just benefit from the door opening, he changes what can pass through it. This is the film's highest point. The child once ordered to stay in line has forced an entire industry to move. But success creates a new problem. The bigger Michael becomes, the more valuable he becomes to everyone around him. Joseph meets promoter Don King and proposes the Victory Tour, reuniting the brothers. A Pepsi sponsorship makes the deal enormous. But Pepsi wants Michael. Without him, the plan loses its power. Michael objects. He wants to continue his solo journey. Joseph and the family apply pressure until refusing the tour feels like abandoning his brothers. Michael is free on paper. Emotionally, the old system still knows how to reach him. Then, during the filming of a Pepsi commercial, everything changes. Pyrotechnics explode too early. Michael's hair catches fire. For a few seconds, he continues performing because he does not realize what is happening. Then the crew rushes toward him. The cameras keep recording as the world's most controlled performer loses control of his own body. Michael suffers severe burns and nerve damage. Doctors begin painful treatment. The injuries will not disappear when the bandages are removed. Yet even from the hospital, Michael thinks about other patients. He donates his Pepsi settlement to the burn center that treated him. He walks through the halls and meets people whose scars may never fully heal. Pain does not make him colder. It makes him more compassionate. But it also forces him to confront the Victory Tour again. Joseph needs him back on stage. The brothers need him. The business machine is already moving. Michael agrees to perform, but something inside him has changed. He is no longer entering the tour as the obedient son. He is preparing his exit. The victory tour begins. Night after night, the brothers recreate the image that first made them famous. The audience sees reunion. Joseph sees the family brand restored. But Michael knows this cannot continue. During the final performance at Dodger Stadium, the brothers sing together under the lights. They perform Human Nature. Then, Working Day and Night. The music carries years of memories. Small clubs, Motown, childhood rehearsals, punishment, success, fear, love, everything that built them has reached one final stage. Then, Michael makes the announcement. This will be the last time the brothers perform together. Joseph is stunned. The tour he created to reclaim control has become the place where Michael takes it away permanently. And the opening scene finally reveals its full meaning. Joseph once made 5 frightened children reach toward a wall together. He told them there would be no more Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Michael. Only the Jackson 5. But that unity always required Michael to sacrifice a part of himself. Now he chooses his own name. The film moves forward to 1988. Wembley Stadium. Michael begins his first solo world tour. The crowd is enormous. The sound is deafening. He stands alone where his father once insisted he could survive only as part of the family. At the beginning of the story, Joseph forced 5 boys to move as one. At the end, Michael moves by himself, and the entire stadium follows. So was Michael's final announcement an act of betrayal? Or was it the first completely honest decision of his life? And in the end, who truly created Michael Jackson, the father who pushed him, the family that depended on him, or the child who refused to stop reaching? Tell me what you think in the comments. Because the moment Michael finally became free may also have been the moment the world began demanding everything from him.